Preview.
Hello and welcome to Beyond the Buzzer. I am your host, Landon Pavin. I'm joined by Beyond the Buzzer co-host Cameron Champagne and guest star Chris Spar. How you boys doing?
Great. Chilling.
Doing good.
Like,
Still good.
chilling.
We are doing the next division, the Pacific Vision, with the Warriors, Lakers, Clippers, Suns, and Kings. This should be an interesting list. A lot of talent on these teams. It'll be interesting with the three of us go. We'll start off with Cam. Who do you got at number 12? Everybody will do their 12, and then we'll go down the list.
Honestly, this is tough because there's Lakers players, there's Kings players, there's Warriors. Honestly, I'd have to put Oscar Robertson at 12, even though he played not technically Kings, but listed as the Sacramento Kings now. So Oscar Robertson at 12.
Okay, Chris, who do you got at 12? I think Oscar should be a lot higher than
Oscar
that.
Robertson at 12.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
Because
it's
of
a
the
little
Lakers-
surprising. Mr. Triple-Double and a 6-time assist champ getting the number 12 spot. It feels like you're
But
shafting
with
him a
the
little bit.
Kings.
Yes, with the Kings. What, you want to bring up his Milwaukee days? We already covered those. He won a championship there, but he was only a 2-time All-Star.
Yeah.
Regardless.
It's just tough with all the Lakers and Warriors players. And
Yeah, it's tough to place him. My number 12, Klay Thompson. He spent 8
Cool.
seasons with the Warriors already in his career. He's a 5-time All-Star, only a 2-time All-NBA selection, but 3 championships and a one-time selection for the All-Defense team back in 2018. He's been special, and he's a very important player to a 3-time championship team.
Yeah. And you mentioned that defense. Don't overlook his defense. Just because he hasn't made many all-defense teams, that guy can still lock up whenever he needs to.
He is a clamp god.
If they didn't have Iguodala or Green, I mean, I guess if you didn't have those two,
He'd likely be more recognized for it.
They probably wouldn't be in the
Well, yeah,
championship
Iguodala coming off the
anyway.
bench and Draymond Green. Draymond Green was very nearly a selection for this list, but
really.
just, didn't make the cut. Yeah, he's a 3-time All-Champion. He's a 3-time All-Champion. He's a 3-time champion as well. It's the same team, similar number of years.
Yeah, he plays kind of like Jason Kidd.
Yeah,
Minus the
that's an interesting comparison, but I do like it. Yeah, he's a ball handler at the forward position. He's a very talented player. But who's your number 12? I'm interested because clearly we all have different ones. If we're talking about how low Oscar Robertson is and how shocked you guys are I have Klay Thompson on my list at all.
All right, you ready for this? I got the Miami Greyhound, Rick Barry. Okay, he played for, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different teams in his time. 12-time All-Star, 1-time scoring champ. He's an NBA champ, steal champ, 6-time All-Star. He did play in the ABA for a little bit, so that might discriminate him a little bit for the NBA, but he still has plenty of accolades that are quite impressive. So he's at my number 12, 24 points a game, just under 7 rebounds, 5 assists. I like him a lot. A lot of these Warrior players are going to make the list the way he plays. He's a great shooter from the mid-range and out.
And let's not skip that granny shot that he made so famous. That was Rick Barry, something not enough people recognize him for. But that was him. He made the granny shot famous. And
he's a 90%,
possibly invented it. I don't really know.
He's a 90% from the free throw line with that granny shot.
Yeah.
Love it.
Great. He was a great forward, great player. And with the Warriors,
Yeah.
Love it. I love to
He's
see it.
known for his Warrior days. He's played on the New York Nets, the I think it was the San Diego Rockets even.
He made his way around. So did Shaq, and I'm sure he's on all of our lists.
He better be. All right, I'll say my number 11. I got a Los Angeles Clipper guy. Actually, he played for more teams than Rick Barry did, but I got Bob McAdoo. He's making my list at number 11.
Wow. That's interesting.
He's way back there in the early 70s. two-time NBA champ. He's not much of a known for a scorer. Like, he's only averaging 22 points a game in his career.
Oh,
But
only 22 points a game.
three-time scoring champ, two-time All-NBA, two-time NBA champ, and he even has 5 All-Stars under his belt. So the accolades are quite impressive, but not compared to the other men on our list.
Of course,
But
I
I
mean,
thought he
how
was
could they back
deserving.
up?
He was deserving for the second overall pick in 1972.
Yeah, he was one of those names I struggled with when I was putting Klay Thompson on this list, but I feel like role players deserve their names here too, and he was clearly a star. You listed everything he's done. And that's not to say Klay Thompson isn't a star, but potentially not the personality that Bob was. And
And
Big Bob was a great player.
you still got to take into consideration that Clay still has 5 years left. Who knows?
Five
Years.
good.
Who knows what he's gonna do?
8 seasons, 5 All-Stars, 3 championships. Coming off of an injury, I'm excited to see what he's doing. But my number 11, it's the Chuckster. Charles Barkley, the round mound of rebound, averaged 24 points and 11 assists in his 11 rebounds in his 4 seasons with the Phoenix Suns. He was a 4-time All-Star in 4 seasons, 4-time All-NBA selection, and an MVP in 1992, something that I think Michael Jordan was very outspoken on. But that doesn't make it not count. The Charles Barkley, Sir Charles, more than deserving of this spot, even in just 4 seasons. We all know that I put Kawhi Leonard at number 2 for his 1 season in Toronto, where he brought home a chip and a Finals MVP.
Yeah.
I think that's an interesting. I mean, I think the 11, 12th spot, maybe even the 10th spot is kind of up for debate. You could.
I think all 12 is tough. Period.
I think you can switch anybody with those 3 spots, but let's see who Cameron Champagne has at his number 11.
You're going to be interested with this one. At number 11, I have Mr. Clutch, the logo, Jerry West. 1972. He only has 1 NBA ring, but he's played in 9 NBA finals with the Lakers. He is the official logo of the NBA now. He just did everything. He averaged 26 points in his career. They didn't really do rebounds. He averaged, I think, 7 assists per game. And in 1969 it was when he lost in the NBA Finals and still won the Finals MVP and being on the losing team.
Jeez. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you want to just round up and give us your 10 now, Cam?
Yeah. At number 10, it's going to become more interesting. You're probably going to say this is too low, but Steve Nash.
Yeah.
He was a great point guard for the Suns. He was a great role player, but it's just with all these Lakers players, it's tough to put somebody else.
I think if he wins 1 ring, his value in this list goes way up. But
but he never won a championship.
Yeah.
So.
He only had 7 seasons, I want to say, with the Suns.
Yeah.
So 2 MVPs in his 7 seasons.
But no championships. It's all about championships.
Yeah. Chris, 11 or 10, excuse me.
Yes, we're at 10, and I don't think it's all about championships. I mean, for sometimes it is. I mean, obviously, I talked about Klay Thompson winning 3 championships and Sir Charles not winning any. So clearly, you can be above people with championships. And if it's all about championships, there's no reason Klay Thompson shouldn't make your list with 3 of them under his belt already. 3 that he was very big during. He was a solid player, locked up probably the first or second best player on the other team every time.
Okay, so
but we're past him, and we're still talking about defense though with Elgin Baylor at number 10. Elgin Baylor spent 14 seasons, 2 of them with the Minnesota Lakers. 11-time All-Star, 10-time All-NBA. He was the Rookie of the Year and averaged, 27, 13.5 rebounds, and 4 assists. Guy was spectacular, but that's all he did. Otherwise, he would have been higher on the list. If he even had 1 championship, you're not wrong. He'd skyrocket, probably make the number 7. I wouldn't be surprised if he was deserving of that.
He has an MVP too, right? You didn't mention that.
He doesn't have an MVP.
What? He does, right?
Elgin Baylor does not have an MVP.
Does he have an All-Star one? Does he have any MVP?
He may have an All-Star MVP. I did not. I
think
don't mock
I-
All-Star MVPs up for.
yeah, me neither. I
right.
thought I saw an MVP on there, but what if Klay Thompson didn't win 3 championships? Does he still make your list?
Does Steph Curry make yours?
Yes. They're 2 different players, though.
Still great shooters.
So you're saying that Steph Curry would still be a top 5 player on your list if he had 0 championships? I mean, yeah, sure, he has 2 MVPs, but wouldn't that put him at the same level of Steve Nash?
Yes, he wouldn't be as high as he is, but I mean, Curry's the greatest shooter of all time. I'm not saying Klay isn't, but I think Curry's a better shooter, which makes
Curry is a better shooter, but if he has no championships, then he's just a stat monger. Then he's just, has his 1 scoring champ, 2 MVPs, no rings, and was just one of those players that could never do it.
So MVP,
because if he doesn't have any championships, that means that Klay doesn't either, and that means Draymond doesn't have championships. That means Kevin Durant never won any championships either.
So winning MVP is just a stat mongering thing. It doesn't really matter.
Ask Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook didn't even make your list.
How could he?
Oh, we haven't done that division yet.
We haven't done the Thunder yet,
Well, I'm just saying Curry would still be on my list with no championships and Klay would not.
Where would he be? 11, 12? Then,
probably.
Yeah, so Elgin Baylor, no MVPs, no championships. He's my number 10.
Okay, my number 10 is also Elgin Baylor. I mean, I can't say much different than you. It's a little bit surprising to me and weird to the eye that he played small forward, that he's getting 13 rebounds as a small forward. I mean, I guess it's not
the same league, I couldn't believe that with 13 rebounds per game. Well, at least he had several seasons with 13 rebounds. He didn't get a single rebound title. Well,
you got to imagine what era he's in. He's in with Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah, I believe that he was actually on the same team as Wilt Chamberlain.
Yes.
So it would probably be hard for him to win an MVP with Bill Russell and Wilt in the league.
Yeah. And I think the logo was in around there. He came in late.
Yeah, and the logo, the guy we were talking about before, actually for his first 6 seasons in the league had more rebounds than he had assists. So I guess that was just the type of league he was playing in.
So my number 9, I got Steve Nash. He's going to make my 9 spot. 2 MVPs, 5 assists, 5-time assist champ. I mean, Cam kind of said it all, 7-time All-NBA, but he was another just crafty point guard that could really, dish that ball. Great pick and roll with Stoudemire. He had Marion on that team too, the young Joe Johnson. It's a nice team to watch. He stole a couple MVPs from Kobe even. I think Kobe should have had at least one of those MVPs. What do you think?
Yeah, Steve Nash. He's my number 9 as well. He's a spectacular passer, made all of the plays. He was a big part of that Dirk Nowitzki ring, if you remember that, with Jason Kidd coming off the bench. He was the starter when they won that. We're not talking about that, though. We're talking about the 12 seasons that he spent in the Pacific Division. He was only a 6-time All-Star, 6-time All-NBA selection, but those 2 MVPs, like you said, kind of stole them from Kobe Bryant, but we don't like to bring those up. We like to talk about the good that he did. And he did a whole lot of it, getting 5 assist titles while he was there.
Steve Nash didn't win a championship, though.
Not on Phoenix or the Lakers.
Or the Mavericks. So how did he win one with Dirk?
He won a championship with Dirk Nowitzki.
It doesn't say he did.
I was wrong. He was already gone. He was that's right. He was on Phoenix for the Dirk championship. That is my bad. Thank you for calling me out. I actually appreciate that.
You're welcome. I was gonna say.
I thought he was. Oh wait, that's why they signed Jason Kidd.
Yes.
Oh, and everything comes together in my
your head.
Discombobulated noggin.
We're learning as college students. It's a thing.
A thing indeed.
Let's go to Cameron Champagne with his number 9.
Number 9, it's going to have to be with Klay Thompson, like Chris brought earlier. 3-time NBA champion, and like I said, he's probably one of the best shooters of all time.
Yeah.
Like catch and shoot, kind of like a Ray
Yeah,
Allen.
he's like Kyle Korver if he could
Or-
actually do something other than shoot.
He
This
reminds
is
me
what
of,
they wanted Kyle Korver to be.
He reminds me of like a modern age era Ray Allen back in his rookie days.
Back in the Seattle days.
Yeah, because Clay can yam it too. I've seen Clay's yam it.
Yeah, in a few interviews he talked about it. He was like, "Yo, man, when I get a chance to dunk, I always go for it because I just don't get to do it very often."
Exactly. So he
Steve
can do
Kerr
it.
just tells him, he's like, "Yo, stay outside the arc. You can pull that from wherever you want. 40 feet, yeah, who cares?"
Half court. Yeah, who cares?
All right, I guess this is going to our number 8 spot, Cam.
It's gonna
So
be
number
Wilt
8.
Chamberlain. He's that high. I know. Just wait till you see my 7 through 1.
I'm
Wilt
definitely waiting.
Chamberlain, great career. I mean, you can't complain. 2 NBA championships, 4 regular season MVPs, Rookie of the Year, 1-time NBA Finals MVP. He was selected 13 All-Star games and 10 All NBA first and second teams. Should be a lot higher, but there's a lot of good players in this list, so it's very tough. So,
Chris, enlighten us with your number 8 spot, please.
Jerry West, 14 seasons, 14 All-Stars, 12 All-NBAs. He got his championship in 71
72.
and his finals MVP in 69 because he does that for some reason.
He won a championship in 72.
71.
It says 72 right here.
He had to squeak in a championship between Bill Russell.
Are you sure it wasn't the 1971-72 season?
So that'd be 72, Chris.
Yeah.
72-73 season.
No, 71-72.
All right, doesn't matter. Just
It
move
would be
on.
the
So it was the
championship would be in June.
1971-72 season.
Yes.
So basically, regardless, it's the same season. But
Yeah.
5-time All-Defense, 1 scoring champ, 1 assist champ. Jerry West just kind of did his thing. He blew the league up, got put on the logo, still isn't happy about it. And now
he's
with the
GM of the
Clippers.
year, GM, owner, executive of the year every year.
Yeah,
He gets it done.
because totally, he does whatever he wants, and apparently that doesn't include getting his body off of the logo.
Yeah. So, wow, Chris, I guess we're pretty good at this thing because I also got Jerry West, number 8.
Woo!
I watched some film on him, just like 2 minutes on YouTube. The guy is your typical shooter. He's just off screens, pull up, ice cream machinery. That's going in. I mean, there's not much more for me to say here. Chris kind of said it all. So my number 7, this is where the lists get interesting, I hope. Kobe Bryant, the Black Mamba, is making my number 7.
7?
I want to start off by saying this guy is incredible. It's a shame I have him this low. I mean, even at 6, it'd be tough. His talent, his worth ethic. Awards, 12-time All-Defense. That's awesome. Defense is amazing. 18-time All-Star, 5-time NBA champ, 15-time All-NBA. Now, the thing that really interests me is his stat lines for number 8 and number 24. The difference between not even so much a difference, but 1 scoring champ, 8 All-Star appearances, 3 NBA championships, and almost 17,000 points scored. At number 24, he also has just under 17,000 points scored, 10 All-Stars, 2 NBA champions, and a scoring champion as well. So, I mean, it's pretty almost dead even there.
Yeah, not to mention it. If you look at it, it's like 7 points when he first entered, and then 17 when he last was in the league. It's like, I think he averaged the least number of points his rookie year, and then like the 3rd least number of points his final year. It's almost like it was like a literal mountain.
Well, he got old.
But
That's what happens.
Guy was incredible. Had 60 points his final game. He was a special talent. My number 7 is also a special talent because I'll get to Kobe later because I just can't believe he's not even
Top 5.
top 6. Like, what? He's not even in the top half of your 12. Like, this is insane. I have Oscar Robertson at number 7, which so unimpressive coming off of your Kobe Bryant shoved in there, but 10 seasons, 10 All-Stars, 10 All-NBAs, and an MVP, 6 assist champs, and averaged a triple-double. And with Cincinnati, with the Royals, he had 29 points, 8.5 rebounds, and 10 assists in his 10 years there, which maintaining that must have just took everything out of him, because once he got to Milwaukee, he looked like a husk of himself. Still had 2 All-Stars and an NBA championship, but that was riding the back of one of the greatest centers to ever play the game.
Lou Alcindor.
Ferdinand.
So Cam, you're number 7.
7's gonna have to be Steph Curry, just because he's still playing. He's still got more to prove. So I couldn't put him in the top 5 because most of these players that we're listing, their career's already over. He already has 3 NBA championships, 2 MVPs. I don't even know how many All-Star games, but he's still playing. He's got more to prove. Maybe he'll be higher up by the time his career is ended. So
yeah, he doesn't have to be number 7 though, because Oscar Robertson was mine, and clearly Kobe Bryant was Landon. So I guess he doesn't have to be number 7. People clearly don't share your opinion.
Yeah.
But take us away to number 6, because I'm sure we'll both touch on Steph Curry further, and I'm going to roast you when I get to him.
All right. Number 6 is going to be Shaquille O'Neal. 3 consecutive championships in 2000, 2001, 2002 with Kobe. He was just a big guy. He dominated. He was the guy back then. Like, no one could stop him. So that's why he's my number 6. He's number 1 overall. So
yeah, no, that's more than fair. That guy was a monster. Shaq Diesel. We loved watching Superman play. I didn't, because I never watched him play. Not on TV at least. I watched all the tape when he gets to talk about how soft our league is now. But my number 6 is Kevin Durant, because he's Kevin Durant, one of the greatest scorers of all time. Hit shots over LeBron for fun because he's 7 feet tall and likes to lie about it. He spent 3 seasons with the Warriors, racked up 3 All-Stars, 3 All-NBA selections, 2 championships, 2 final MVPs, because he does things like that. Couldn't do it with the Thunder, of course, when he had Westbrook and Harden, because apparently they weren't good enough for him.
Right.
So they got the 3-0 comeback. Apparently not of the century, because another one happened just a year later. But doesn't seem to matter, because he got those 2 championships regardless. He wasn't going to let the Warriors stand in his way, because he jumped on their team.
So this brings me to my number 6. I think Kevin Durant should have made my list. I'm going to say that now. He's not on my list. I think maybe he could – I don't see how he could be above like a Jerry West or a – actually, I don't think he – I think he'd probably be at my number 9 somewhere.
I don't know why he can't be above a Jerry West. Just because his career's not over and he's only, 30 years old, I don't see why he can't be above a Jerry West. I think he's already proven that he's a more magical talent. The guy's a straight-up unicorn. We've never seen anything like him. A 7 foot small forward with guard skills that can launch shots from 50 feet. Why can't he be above Jerry West? Just because he's the logo doesn't mean he doesn't deserve to be over him.
I just think West is just as special as Durant was when he was back in his day. I don't know. Everybody, this whole list has proved, everybody's different, of course. Everybody thinks differently. Everybody ranks differently. Everybody sees things differently. But my number 6 is Stephen Curry. Steph Curry, the greatest shooter of all time, easily. The only one, Reggie Miller and Ray Allen are probably the only ones contesting him. Steal champ, he has one of those under his belt. A couple MVPs are under his belt. 6-time All-NBA. And that one-time scoring champ when he put up 30 points per game. And, his 2016 season was just one of the greatest seasons of all time.
And miraculously, it wasn't even his unanimous MVP selection.
Yes. Was it the one before or after?
The first one was unanimous. The second one, where he averaged 30 points and 7 assists, apparently wasn't worthy of being unanimous.
Well, this guy just makes ridiculous shots, and when he in the 2016 season, he was the best point guard, best ball handler in the NBA at the time. So at one point, this guy was probably the greatest player in the league at one point.
For sure.
So my number
He was
5
special.
now. I'll say my number 5 because I know Curry's your number 5. You said it earlier. So Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is going to make my list at number 5. I mean, the guy was extremely durable. He never had a season where he was under 79 games. 6-time NBA champ, 4-time block champ, 11-time all defense. You can go on and on about this guy. 7'1", 7'2".
Yeah, something like that. Doesn't matter when you're that tall.
Invented the hook. Well, I don't know if he invented the hook shot, but he really put that thing to use, and
He modernized it.
Yeah,
he invented the sky hook because no one shot it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because no one was 7'1" with like a 20-foot wingspan. Yeah, nobody could stop that thing. That's why he's the leading scorer in the NBA history.
All right, well, on to number 5 for me, because I'll talk more about Kareem later, I promise. But my number 5 isn't Steph Curry. I don't remember ever saying that because my number 5 is Shaq Diesel. Spent 10 seasons in this division, if you care to remember those days with Phoenix. Racked up 8 All-Star selections, 3-time champ. He had 3 in a row. I remember hearing that somewhere. All 3 of those he had the Finals MVP for. He was a 1-time scoring champ, 3-time All-Defense selection. Shaq Diesel was unstoppable. You talked about him plenty before, but I'm going to talk about him more because he was just so disruptive. You game plan for him. And then he shatters the game plan like he did backboards because he was just that guy. He was phenomenal to watch. Everyone loved seeing him play until he got to Boston. And then he got traded because apparently him and Kobe couldn't settle their differences to scrape together a few more championships. Went on to Miami, won another one with Dwayne Wade just for fun.
Just for fun, literally just for fun.
And that's all I have to say about that. You know, he was fantastic and will always be remembered as Superman, Shaq Diesel.
In your heart.
In our hearts.
No, just your heart.
Oh, just my heart? Yeah, we can forget about those Phoenix days if you really want to. He racked up 1 All-Star and averaged like 15 points and 8 rebounds. Like, what? No, that's not Shaq. No. Shaq stopped being Shaq when he left Miami. He just wanted more money.
All right. My number 5 is going to be Kevin Durant. Already talked about him. He's a cupcake. Left OKC to go win championships with Steph Curry and the bros there in Golden State. And nobody, I mean, he's just great. He's, like we said, considered almost not 7 foot, but he's a unicorn, like Chris said. He averaged over 25 points all 3 seasons with the Warriors. And
so are we just going to disrespect Kristaps Porzingis right now? Because I'm pretty sure he's the unicorn.
Listen, there's plenty of unicorns in the league. Anyone who has guard skills that's 7 feet tall is a unicorn.
Porzingis doesn't have
guard skills. Bowl's a unicorn next. He's the next.
You put him on any team at the point, and he could be better than any point guard down there. Well, okay, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah, watch your mouth.
Seriously, he wasn't even the best point guard when he won his championships.
I know. I mean, he's like I said, he won 2 championships.
Andre Iguodala was a better point guard than him.
And not to mention, he was on the best team ever on record. So, same with
actually, he got there the year after.
Wait, was it? Oh no, it was the year after. That's right. Wait,
they went 73-9, and then Kevin Durant was like, "All right, Westbrook, you're never gonna win a chip. I'm gonna go here now." And then he did that.
I got my years off. That's my fault. But so what? We going to number 4 now.
You're at number 4, bud.
Yeah, this is tough. These top 4 were tough, but they're all Lakers. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I'm gonna have to say Wayne already said everything. He created the hook shot. He's most scoring in the NBA and NBA history. I mean, 7-2, and I mean, there was nothing. No one could really stop him back then. If he played today, though, I feel like it'd be a lot different. But since he played back then, and can't really judge him for that. It's not his fault.
Nah, he's still
Yeah,
going
no.
off. He's probably scoring more points nowadays than he would then because there's nobody.
More
can't think-
physicality. Who's gonna stop him? Joel? Yeah,
Yeah.
slap Joel in front of him because he's gonna make a difference.
Yeah, if you
you
slap
talk
Joel in the
about
face,
cupcakes?
he'd probably cry.
You put Giannis in front of him, though, he could stop him.
No.
Maybe. I'll give it a fat maybe if
Yeah.
Giannis is actually gonna stop him.
Just
But-
but there was I don't know. They weren't as tall and athletic back then. And now they're just blocking out crazy.
All right, if I wasn't wearing sweatpants, I'd stand up and yell at you right now. But how is Curry so low on your list? You were wrong. Curry's number 4. How is Curry so low on your list? The disrespect. This man is 32 years old. You can't say that he's not far enough into his career to be number 4. I'm talking. You can't say that he's not far enough into his career. He's 11 seasons in. Give the guy a little slack. 6 All-Stars, 3 chips, 2 MVPs, one of them unanimous, the only unanimous MVP ever. He's a scoring champ, a steal champ, 6-time All-NBA. What more do I need to say? He is phenomenal. That rhymed, by the way. Dude, he is so good. And to give Kevin Durant the MVP, the Finals MVP for the second championship that they won is blasphemous. It was ridiculous that he didn't get that. It is, the frustration. Thinking back to that championship that they had and when Kevin Durant got to raise the trophy because he was the Finals MVP, I wanted to fly there and just kick him in the knee so that he fell down. Then I would have handed Curry it and been like, you're the MVP, man. It's all you. You won this one. Kevin Durant didn't win this one. He vanished for that game 6. You stepped up to the plate and went off because you did Curry things that only he can do. And then I would have shook his hand.
And said, have a good
And then
day.
I would have held Riley Curry because she's adorable. But regardless,
All right.
Steph Curry is number 4. If anything, I was thinking about putting him over Kobe Bryant.
Okay, guys. My number 4 is Oscar Robinson. Touched on it a little bit earlier. So, but Oscar Robinson was the first point guard, first true big guard before Magic Johnson. He was a tall forward, basically, so at 6'5". To have the handles, to play the point, bully you in the paint, to be able to go outside and hit that 17-footer was not heard of for that height. Never won a ring when he's been in Sacramento, though, but was the first ever to average a triple-double, not once, but twice. So it's my number 4. Number 3 is Shaquille O'Neal. I mean,
We're
3
just
finals
gonna go
MVPs.
right over the number 4. I guess we already said enough about him, but yeah, no, he's the same build as D'Lo, but D'Lo hates the paint
Yes.
and chooses to stay out of it. But continue.
Well,
Number
the
3.
other guards back then, I mean, like, who's going to be guarding him in the paint? Like a 6'3" Bob Cousy, like 180 pounds compared to Oscar's 205. I mean, all right. My number 3, Shaquille O'Neal, 3 times Finals MVP, 18-year career, had 15 All-Star appearances, and shot 60% 6 times. He was just unstoppable in his era. He was quick and athletic out of college, put on a couple pounds, and still kept that quickness. It was just so powerful, and obviously you can tell that nothing got in that guy's way.
Absolutely not. Nothing stood in Shaq's way.
Yes, not even
anything
back
between Shaq and the basket was like just something to throw. But yeah, no, Shaq was special, not quite as special as his partner in crime, Kobe Bryant, who I have as number 3, just because it's Kobe.
Right.
I'd say that's enough said, but I guess people don't really understand that nowadays. Kobe Bryant, I mean, maybe now people have that recency bias that now they're like, oh my God, he was like one of the greatest basketball players of all time just because he passed. Very upset by that. Shook me for a few days. But that's no reason to just start loving Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant was incredible. He spent all 20 seasons in LA,
which is rare.
racked up 18 All-Star appearances. The only two that he missed was his rookie season and his third season in the league when he was a sixth man. He was an All-Star in that second year for whatever reason. He actually had a better performance in his third year where he wasn't an All-Star. Don't know what happened. I wasn't on the committee. 15 All-NBA appearances, just, oh, God. 5-time championship. 2 times he was the MVP. Those were the 2 that he won with Pau Gasol, who was also amazing. Clearly didn't make the list. Landon, you have a question or a comment?
Think about this. LeBron James came out of the league. Magic Johnson came into the league, out of college, high school. Made a difference right away. Was in the starting lineup. Played the whole season. Whatever. Kobe Bryant came in the league. What did he play? 40 games. Didn't start. Didn't play much first couple games. Averaged 7 points his first season.
That's why he's number 7 for you?
No, I'm just saying, like, what if he played 82 games his first season and started? What if he scored 20 points per game in his first season? You know? Like, this guy could have been –
There was a game, and it was really cool. I watched a video on it, and they were like, this is when Black Mamba was born. It was his 3rd season in the league. He was against Tracy McGrady. It didn't even happen until halftime. His coach walked up to him and said, you're really going to let this 6'8" point guard bully you like this? This guy who you got drafted with, you're going to really let him bully you the way that he is right now? And he was like, coach. And he was like, do something about it. Man's popped off and single-handedly won the game. Threw a few lobs to Shaq, because why not? You know, let him eat a little bit. But that's the day that the guy who looked at Shaq and said, yo, get my rebounds was born. That's when Mamba was born. That's when that Mamba mentality set in. And I was like, yo.
Since we're such a theory-based society nowadays, like, what if Shaq never came and Kobe was averaging 40 points a game still to carry his team? What if he did start his first 2 seasons? Is he the greatest player of all time? Is he number 1 scoring of all time on the NBA scoring list?
I know we're a theory-based society nowadays, but yo, Cam, why don't you cool your jets with this whole he's the GOAT vibe that you're tossing around?
I said he would be.
If that happened, there's potentially a Kobe Bryant who never even blossoms into greatness because he never had a guy to help him get there. Shaq and Kobe were one of the only double Batman systems to ever function. And frankly, for that first championship, Kobe was a Robin. And then he got there. Then he just, took Mamba form and set into greatness what is his legacy now. And I think we've talked enough about him.
Well, this is more just a topic overall. Like, you make a good point when you say double Batman. I've never thought about it like that. Like, 2 ball-dominant kind of guys.
Yeah, but if we're talking about, like, GOAT, like you say you go back to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan without Scottie Pippen, though, like, it's the same thing.
Not really. He didn't win 6 championships without Scottie Pippen. He made it to the playoffs a few times and never won anything.
No, they were losing first round and stuff.
That's what I'm saying. He needed Scottie though.
Yeah, and I would say maybe you can argue that Kobe didn't need Shaq because he won 2 championships without him. Yeah. But he still had Pau Gasol. He still had an incredible lineup around him.
Derek Fisher hit the biggest shot ever in one of those finals.
Derek Fisher, the clutch man.
Yeah.
Guy nailed that shot and changed everything. Dude, he didn't have a bad team. That's like saying, yo, LeBron didn't need help to win championships. He had 2 All-Stars on his team. You guys people talk about Kevin Love like he's a bag of wet sand. That's 2 All-Stars didn't pop off when he's with Cavaliers.
If Kyrie Irving didn't pop off in that 2016 finals.
Yeah.
In that game,
like, what do you expect? Draymond Green missed 2 massive games, was suspended, and that led to the 3-0 comeback, or the 3-1 deficit comeback. There's a lot of things that played into LeBron's championships. The Ray Allen shot. There's so much that happened that was out of LeBron's hands. And they're like, oh, he didn't need help. He had Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. He had Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love.
He lost.
Was averaging a double-double. What do people say when they're like, yeah, he did it all by himself? Yeah, J.R. Smith all by himself. George Hill all by himself. What?
He lost to Dirk Nowitzki himself.
Yeah, Dirk Nowitzki. Damn.
Well, hold on. Before you go, let me say he had a 36-year-old Jason Terry, 37-year-old Jason Kidd. He had a 40-year-old Tyson Chandler, and a 42-year-old Dirk Nowitzki that could barely.
Sean Marion.
And Sean Marion, and they lost. Ugh.
Although Chris Bosh dropped the ball on defense.
They barely beat that Thunder team.
Dude, like, come on.
All right, let's get back to our list.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to it. Cam, you're up. Number 3.
Number 3 is going to be very surprising. You guys probably don't have him on your list, but James Worthy. People forget about him. He won.
He's number 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, people forget about him because he wasn't even the best player he wasn't even the third best player when he was on those teams. I'm sure someone said that on some.
Hold up.
Oh, he was better than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
He was 1988 NBA Finals MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Easy, Chris. He was
time All-Star. 3
I'm not saying he's bad, but he wasn't as good as Klay Thompson.
Yes, he is.
No, he really wasn't.
Yes, he is.
The sixth man of the year, the sixth man on the team where he was winning his championships was the defensive player of the year.
Michael Cooper.
I would argue that Michael Cooper, who was the 60th overall pick, the best Mr. Irrelevant in NBA history, in my opinion, was better than him. Byron Scott, I would argue, may have been better than him. And yes, he had a big job guarding Larry Bird. But James Worthy is number 3? I get it. He won a lot of chips with Magic Johnson.
Hold on.
But all he did was catch lobs and play defense.
Hold on. Let Cam explain first, and then let's roast him. Then let's roast him.
I mean, it makes sense, though. He had 16,000 points, 320 points in his career. 7-time All-Star, 3 NBA champ, 1988 NBA Finals. I'm just saying, in that era that he played with, he was great.
I don't think – are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Chris, all right, let's get him. Let's go get him.
This is opinion based. It should be.
Let's go get him.
I don't think I will agree with you that James Worthy's great, but he's not top 3 great.
Oh.
I think he could be just like maybe 9, 10, 11, 12, but definitely not top 3. Do your research a little bit more before coming onto the show, please. And Chris,
I had my list. I had my list picked out at like 5 p.m. today. I still have to do number 2.
I mean, dude, just having James Worthy, it's not that he was a bad player. He's a Hall of Famer. He's seriously probably maybe a top 20 small forward of all time. If you even list him there, might have been a power forward for certain years. He kind of went back and forth like Magic Johnson did, switching from 1 to 2 guard, and frankly, he even played center at some point. And I'm not trying to take away from what he did. Yes, he was the 87-88 Finals MVP, 3-time champ, 7-time All-Star. He was a very good player, but he's not the number 3 player in the Pacific all time. I don't even think he's a top 50 player all time.
Top 50? Okay.
In the Pacific, Chris? Or 50 all time?
In the Pacific, no doubt. Yeah, probably even top 20. He didn't make this list because this is a very exclusive list, which, frankly, Klay Thompson in some circles may not even be welcome in this top 12.
I don't think
so. But to have him at number 3 over Wilt Chamberlain, over Shaquille O'Neal, over Steph Curry is ridiculous to me.
Okay, well, I'm going to go number 2.
All right, so that brings Cam to the number 2.
Yeah, well, it's going to have to be Kobe. I mean, we've already explained everything. Chris pretty much summed Kobe's freaking career in like a few sentences, so.
Like the whole career is.
Yeah.
I've been doing that a lot recently. It's kind of fun.
It is.
So I really had nothing to explain about Kobe.
You don't need to explain.
No, there is no words. R.I.P. That's all.
My number 2, Magic Johnson, had 13 seasons, 4 of which were interrupted by HIV. Was a 12-time All-Star, 5-time NBA champ, 3-time Finals MVP, 4-time assist champ, 2-time steal champ, 3-time NBA MVP. He was amazing. He was easily one of the best point guards of all time, if not the best. On a list of my top 10 players, he's my number 5. The guy was ridiculous. He was insane. He was unstoppable to the point guards of his era when he was being guarded by point guards, because during the finals, a lot of the time he drew the attention of Larry Bird and even the small forward for that team, someone whose name skips my mind because, no one really cared. It was Larry Bird and Kevin McHale and Bob Parrish. So that Celtics team. So, yeah. Regardless, he was amazing. One of the best dishers, fancy passers. He could stretch the floor. He was 6'9" and played point guard.
And and you could play the post as a point guard.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he rocked the post against 6'4" point guards.
Yeah.
It wasn't very difficult for him.
It was just like, I think it was Oscar Robinson, Magic Johnson, Jason Williams. I think Magic Johnson was the Jason Williams before the white chocolate. But so my number 2, the Big Dipper, Wilt Chamberlain, the first freakishly athletic center. Only 5 years with the Lakers, though. The guy's win share was in the mid 200s. Average is not like 100, boys. I mean, that just says a lot. The guy was a winner. I mean, nowhere near Bill Russell, don't get me wrong. The guy made a real case for number 1 on my list, but lack of titles and playoffs and the way he played in the playoffs, killed him. He has more points and rebounds and awards than Bill Russell, but because of the rings, Bill Russell probably takes that argument at 1 and 2. So the Big Dipper is making an appearance at number 2, and that leaves one gentleman left on my list, Irving Magic Johnson, 13-year career. One thing I didn't know though was his HIV. Yeah, HIV.
He still has AIDS. He has AIDS.
He played for 4 seasons. I mean, I knew he had AIDS, but I didn't know he actually missed 4 years. Because
no one wanted to touch him. Maybe it's disgusting.
Yeah, no, it makes sense totally. But the guy could really pass the ball. I think he was a big part of Kareem's success. He's the reason why Kareem, I mean, of course, the sky hook, but like Magic Johnson always found a way to get him the ball. And of course, winning playoff games is more games to score points. So with how big of a winner Kareem was is why he is the number 1 scorer of all time. But Magic Johnson, phenomenal. Number 1, my list.
Well, thank you for bringing up Kareem. I think I spoke enough about Magic Johnson and his incredible career greatness and his unfortunate diagnosis of HIV during the prime of his career. Regardless, he wasn't going to be the number 1 player on my list anyway because Kareem. We all talked about Kareem plenty, except for me. Well, I did when I spoke about his years on the Bucks. But my goodness, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 14 seasons with LA. 13 of those, he was an all-star. 5 of those, he was a champion. 3 of those, he led the league in blocks. 3 of those, he was an MVP. And 11 of those, he was an all-defense player. His greatness is hard to put into words. I just did my best summing up his career highlights. But he was so phenomenal. It was hard to put anyone above him, and it's hard to put any one player above him with the exception of LeBron James and Michael Jordan. I think that he is far and away one of the best centers to ever play the game, if not the best. In my opinion, he's the best on my top 10 list. He is number 3. The guy was ridiculous and deserves every bit. Oh, he was just too good. He was too good. There was just no way that I could put someone above him.
If there's 3 people that I could be blessed to watch, It's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Jordan, and Magic Johnson. Those are the three people that I'd love to be able to play some basketball. And then honorable mention Larry Bird, because that guy was pretty rad. So I guess the only person we're missing is Cameron Champagne's number one player.
I mean, obviously, it's gonna be the same as yours. I mean, it's kind of hard. The best point guard, one of the best point guards of all time, Magic Johnson. Like you said, dominant. He was 6'9", right? 6'7".
6'9".
Okay.
Did you say 6'5", Chris?
6'9".
Okay.
Yeah, that was correct. Okay. Yeah, 6'9" as a point. I mean, today that would be listed as a true point guard, but back then that's what he did. I mean, he did everything. He played the post. He could shoot a little. He could drive. He could assist. I mean, he did everything. He's by far one of the best point guards of all time. So,
even told his coach, "Hey, look, Kareem's out. Let me play center. Let me take care of the big guy duties in the post."
Yeah, I mean, Paul Pierce put him in his top 5 of players. That's what we should talk about next time. I think we should talk about that. Paul Pierce's top 5, because that's interesting.
That is very
Talk about it now. We finished our list. We have a little bit of time. Why not? Let's talk some crap about Paul Pierce and how much he sucked. He's so bad.
LeBron.
The guy is the worst analyst I've ever heard. He doesn't have LeBron James in his top 5 players. He's so bad at his job. Yeah, he was a fine small forward, power forward when he was in the league. But his analysis of almost anything, yeah, I'm better than Dwayne Wade. If I had Shaq in his prime, I would have won 5 championships. Dude, get off TV. I don't want to hear you talk anymore. The truth. The only thing he speaks nowadays are lies. He is just so bad at his job. I haven't even seen his top 5 list. I don't need to.
You want to hear it?
Yes.
Yeah, let me rage out some more.
All right, so it's Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bill Russell, Magic Johnson, and then Kobe. That's not that bad of a list, but you can't leave out LeBron.
No, it's an awful list. Frankly, all right, fine. Bill Russell, yeah, he was incredible, won all of those chips.
I wouldn't put him top 5 lineup though.
I don't put him in my top 5. I barely have him in my top 10. The guy played in the league with 8 players. And yes, 8 players. 8 teams. That's not his fault. It's not his fault he played with a handicap. It's not the Dolphins' fault that they won every game with a handicap. They won 14 straight games. That's a lot harder than winning the 17, 18. You have to win almost 20 games nowadays to have a perfect season. And the Giants blew one for the Patriots because it's a lot harder to win that many straight games than it was for the Dolphins to win 14. They went 14-0, won the Super Bowl, la-di-da. It's a lot harder nowadays. It's not the Dolphins' fault that they won with a handicap, but it's just how the league was. Bill Russell won those championships with a handicap of having 8 teams in the league. So having him at number 4 seems a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
But there could be 4 teams in the NBA, and it could be Bill Russell, Walt Chamberlain, Kareem, and Hakeem Olajuwon, let's just say. Doesn't matter. He's still going to be playing Wilt Chamberlain. He still has to play against Wilt Chamberlain. I mean,
yeah, he still has to play against Wilt Chamberlain. But
that Lakers
team, other 8 center, who are those other 6 centers?
Richie Gerthu.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because he really played sick defense.
Yeah.
He only had 100 points. What are we even talking about here? Paul Pierce, if you watch this,
fuck you.
Get better at your job, man. Think before you talk. Don't just insult Dwayne Wade for
I don't like the NBA. I don't like ESPN's NBA analysts except Jalen Rose.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like Jalen Rose. That's about it.
I think
LeBron torch Paul Pierce.
Windhorst does a good job.
Yes.
Doris does a great job, but I like TNT better. I like TNT is better, way better.
Well, thanks for tuning in this episode. Hopefully you're been in here this long. Here's the code if you want to put it in the comment section to know that you've been watching this long. It's going to be 321 this time. big switcheroo. But as for Chris Barr, Cameron Champagne, Landon Potvin, see you next time.